So I'm joined now by Daniel Skjeldam, who is the Chief Executive at Hurtigruten Group and Hurtigruten Expeditions, HX. So you've just spoken on the panel. We've just literally stepped away. You made some really interesting points. Clearly, sustainability is such an important issue for you. But one of the things I think you got the biggest surprise for, and/or cheer, is that you said you didn't mind being taxed more, actually, on this issue.
No, I think, first of all, thank you to Travel Weekly for putting sustainability on the agenda. I think it's a very important topic. But to taxes, I really believe we as an industry should be taxed more. I'd happily pay more taxes, but it needs to be the right taxes. It needs to be a tool to incentivize us to invest in technology, incentivize us to use the latest technology, retrofit ships with the latest technology, use the right fuel, and the taxation should be that penalize the ones who don't do the investments and premiumize the ones who does the investment.
Yes, so it's not a one-size-fits-all.
No.
Once you start actually making strides, you would then have less to
Yes.
pay. Okay, that does sound like a sensible idea. Talk to me about what you said about greenwashing and the language that we're using and how we're actually communicating these strides that we're taking in this area.
First of all, I think the greenwashing issue is positive in the way that it's coming because the marketing departments are seeing that guests and customers are focusing on this.
Okay, so it's understandable then that they want to convey that message.
The negative thing is that the greenwashing makes it impossible for consumers to make the right choice. Because everyone is so green now, and I did it on one of my 100 ships. So the challenge is it's a jungle for the consumers. Very happy to see that EU is now coming with the greenwashing initiatives, the directive. Very happy to see that we're going to be held to standards when we report our emissions, when we report over ESG initiatives. So I think that's a really, really good thing that's happening from the regulators out there because the consumers want it. But we need.
But they're very confused about who's doing what. Because everyone's now saying.
Everyone is saying it, and we need to be held to what we actually do.
Okay. And just on what you guys are doing, because I think you've been on this journey a long time, and you talked a little bit about your sea emissions, your sea trials of your 2030, you're going to have this ship that has its complete zero emission ship. So tell us about that.
So this journey started for us 20, 30 years ago as a company, and it's something that our people are super passionate about. The latest thing we're discovering is to get to a zero emission ship on the Norwegian coast by 2030. Not like 2050 or 2060, it's 2030. And we just did a huge work with a scientific community and partners in Norway, and it is doable. The project shows that with a combination of batteries, with a combination of a small fuel cell generator, and the right charging capabilities ashore, we will get.
You said as well.
It's a certain small portion which also sails that can be raised. We get to zero emission by 2030. So now we're going to have to look at how we're going to build this ship and get partners signed up for this project. So super exciting.
Yeah, very exciting and so interesting that consumers are interested in it. But let's talk about cost, because a couple of times there today you kept saying that we made a huge investment in this. This cost us a ton of money. I mean, this is not a cheap thing to do, is it, sustainability?
No. It's not cheap, and that's why I think we have to accept as an industry that traveling is going to be more expensive. Whether you fly or whether you go on a cruise or whether you go on a land trip, we just have to accept that traveling will be more expensive over the next decades.
But then you might be taxed less, so that
If
bill will
the
come
tax
down.
bill can come down for the ones who's actually investing, I think is a good thing.
But
we all, whether it's aviation or cruise or land transport, we all need to do investments, and they are going to be quite significant in order to get down our emissions. And it's going to be a combination of the guests and consumers who pay for it, and regulators who incentivize us and penalize the one not doing it.
Okay, so it's not an overnight fix, is it? But everybody should get on the journey right now.
This is a journey that will take us a bit of time, but I'm very positive about all that is happening in the industry today.
Okay, well, you've been fantastic. We're so thrilled you could join us today.
Thank you very
so
much,
Daniel.